So they'll be calling you a radical. Real important video. As again, one of the most important ones I've ever done. And it's perfect for this. So, a lot of talk about here, but number one, we have a photo of RIKAKO IKEE. Now stay with me, this is important because there's a legendary track program. There's been many Olympic athletes run on this track. There's a couple right now that I'm in their ear about Fukushima. We need to boycott the 2020 games. Anybody who goes over there, hold on, hang in there, camera. Don't fall on me. So anybody that goes over there is an absolute fool. Now, stay with me. RIKAKO IKEE did not put this photograph out. This is scripted. I'll prove how they scripted. RIKAKO is the most famous athlete in the world. She's an 18-year-old Olympic swimmer, the first Asian female athlete in the world. She got sick. She born and raised in Tokyo on the 4th of July. It's irony, the picture they put out, USA. She was 10 years old when Fukushima happened. Now, Rachel and I's data we put up exactly a year ago today. I'll tag that video. That's that area right there, how they lied and how contaminated it was 2, 3, 4 years later. It's unarguable proof. It's done in independent labs. So RIKAKO IKEE, 6 gold medals, 2 silver medals in the first female Asian. She's the most famous athlete in the history of Japan. She's probably the greatest athlete in the world right now. So she started feeling sick in February. She's got AML leukemia. Now how do I know what they say? She's in the exact same place that I was. Anybody that declares themselves, I don't care if it's 8 years later, 10 years back. Brian, you know, is the other person who has de novo like me. 9 years later, it came back on him. He's in the fight of his life right now. So this is real important. So she had 525,000 Twitter followers. She was tweeting up until the Fukushima date about her leukemia. Into the book. This is 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times harder than I thought. So of course it's AML. So what's going on right now? They will chemo her multiple times with what we call RCM squared, which is heavy, hardcore chemo. I got 3 rounds into me. So between rounds, if you can, they'll let you go home for just a couple days. You know, so that's this photo. Now, they shut down her Twitter feed. And remember, her Twitter feed had 525,000 Twitter followers. Now, the state, of course, has opened this website. You could see, she's very, very skinny, and she's a beast. I mean, I remember when I went in, and the attending physician was getting me ready because they lumbar puncturing in my brain, put the central line, the Hickman line in your jugular vein. I call that the Fukushima fish hook. I went on 11-11-11, the bone marrow transplant. I remember the guy getting me ready. I'm standing there, they're lasering me, doing everything. He says, your muscle, he says, you got strength all over, you're built, you're really strong through that upper body, you're going to need every bit of it. Oh boy, was he right. I needed every bit of it, then some. So you can see how skinny she is. She's obviously probably lost good 30% of her body weight. She has the beanie on. We'll say, oh, she has her, but I never did lose my eyebrows. I didn't lose my little either. And I got hammered as hard as you can be hammered. She's tough. She's strong. I mean, she's born on the 4th of July, 2000. 10 years old, Tokyo. If you don't think this is correlated to the meltdowns of food, you're out of your mind. You're nuts if you don't think this is correlated. So we have other news from Monterey Bay. So we call those BEAKED WHALES. This is incredible drone footage. Why arrest the well petters? I'm so sick of the well petters going in chasing crowd. We have a 1,000-yard route. Just like in Huntington Beach, they buried the well yesterday. One of the dead, oh, we didn't like the smell, kept washing back, which is against the law. It is against the law in California in order to wash on the coast to bury one of these dead wells, which they've done it. They tried to give me shit for writing Fukushima killed me on a well in Half Moon Bay, but they cut it up with chainsaw, threw it in the dump. I mean, talk about, it's illegal. It has to go out to the sea and drip into the sea. The sharks will feed it, but there's so many of them. There's well over 200. So, you know, in Huntington, they buried it, which is against the law. Of course, well petting, riding up on a well petting ship's against the law, 1,000 yards. They pick and choose their laws. Now, this is important because this is the guy who wrote the letter to FDR. That's my blood, my leukemia blood. It wrote the letter, excuse me, to He's the one that talked Einstein writing the letter. Einstein says the biggest mistake he ever made, which opened the faucet, which did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which set the playbook for the cover-up of Fukushima. So these beaked whales that are in Monterey, unheard of. Absolutely why are they there? They're chasing food. Come on, it's Monterey Bay. The last beacon, I mean, it's the most protected, it's the strongest fishery in the world, bar none. You know, orcas in there eating gray babies, you know, beaked whales showing up. Orcas, you know, mark my words, this will be the next shoe to drop. It'll be orcas eating people. It's going to happen, whether it be off a ship, off a surfer, wherever. That's going to be the next shoe to drop. I mean, this is a catastrophe. The salmon collapse, you don't want to hear from me. I just posted a video that proves it all. Well, that Kevin Blanch, the marine biologist. The marine biologist in the desert of Utah. By the way, does anybody know this script? Best $5 freaking thrift store I ever found. Come on, Kev. Where's your soup can? I don't know. There's my soup can. Get your Olympics. Why is she wearing a USA shirt in the picture? Because we know who's running this cover-up. Yalta by the Sea. Japan's the 51st state, period. World War II. D-Day, D-Day tomorrow. I wear a lot of hats and wear a lot of shirts. The still set salmon of it epically collapsed. I'm telling you, it's a catastrophe. Somebody says, what about the bears? I've been talking to other biologists in Oregon and Washington, Alaska for the whole time that said the bears are already starting to collapse. The births are starting to go down, the body weight. There's been more attacks. People going, I mean, same with the cougars, you know, because this is an eco chain that goes along. So the salmon, we don't count dead tide pools, Kevin Blanch. Speaking of the Olympics, Kevin Blanch, the marine biologist, training in the La Jolla training facility at Pacific Beach, California, dead tide pool jumping. By the way, I'm the world record holder. World record holder. I'm the second greatest athlete in the world right now, training for the 2020. I named them the leukemia games long before Ricardo got sick, you know, and I'm fight on, you know, and so this picture, there's other pictures, and I know that because I've seen them. I can't put them up without permission, and I'm not going to, you know, because this is a hallowed, you know, they want to script this, they want to run this, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, I'm glad she's alive, but this is a pictures in May. You can see how skinny she is. I'll post it as the thumb now, which is out on her, they say her site. It's not her site. Her site's been, you go to her Twitter feed. You can go in there. It hasn't been a tweet since March 13th. Now, so you know the routine, they'll go through 5 rounds of heavy air CCM squared on there, which she's probably, my guess right now, she's probably been through her 3rd. After the 5th round, then they'll prep her for the bone marrow transplant. They'll give her the bone marrow transplant. Now, where they use their own stem cells, which is getting more and more in vogue right now, using the stem cell, we use half matches now. We don't use full. I have a twin sister, you know, so I had a full match. They're like, no, we're going to do the half stem cell, but I got too sick. I could not recover. My plate was so low, so I was too sick for a bone marrow transplant. Everyone thought I would die. That's a 1% de novo. Everyone thought I would die. So I went and I walked the coast of California, sleeping in a sleeping bag, sucked up skinny like her. I walked the whole coast documenting the tide pools, and I mean, my platelet count stayed in the 30s for 3.5, 4 years. So I mean, it's a long, ugly battle, and you can't declare. And you know, of course, you know the chemo wart my bowel. I had open heart surgery last year. My gallbladder wore it out. All these I mean, but everybody says, "Oh, you took chemo." Please. This is acute plastic. I mean, it's on, and I'm telling you, it's on. That's where she's at. It's on. I know that for a fact. So, the whales showing up, the salmon collapse, the dead tide pools, Bob Beam and Blanch training for the 2020 games. By the way, cancer really does suck. So, and I rely on funding. I mean, I am the journalist. Bob Weldy died today, by the way. What a gem here in Utah. Oh my God, we love that guy. So, I'm the journalist, I'm the marine biologist, I'm the activist, I'm the artist, I'm the historian. I work so hard at this because, you know, everybody that went along with this, oh, they're all in it, you know, nuclear Waterloo. I love it, all these people that tried to tag on the free radicals, all of them tried to tag on to me, and then they fled when this got away. I mean, oh, we're active. Please, please. This is the most important time in this whole freaking dynamic nuclear Waterloo. And, you know, we want her to live. You know, we're praying for her and we're fighting her. She's got a long, ugly fight ahead of her. You know, and they can grandstand it all along, but you look at the picture, I think it's irony they got a USA. Orwell, 1984, and I will say this about her leukemia, Fukushima, the dead tide pools, we had record returns on the salmon. You can go along with this Orwellian, Winston. 2 + 2 is still fucking 4. You can fucking, they can socially engineer you and make you think, you know, 2 + 2 is 5 or 8 or 2 or 3 or whatever we tell you, and you've fallen for it. It becomes as natural as occupying a bird rest. Dead tides pools, acutely post-Fukushima. Fucking dead whales, acutely. Oh, I think. The salmon collapse, acutely. Record returns is 1. We count all tide pools. We don't count dead tide pools, Kevin Blanch says. We don't count dead humans in bone marrow, Kevin Blanch says. We don't count fucking, oh, we count every salmon. Because they all come home. We use sonar on the Columbia. These numbers are unarguable proof. You know, you don't believe that RIKAKO IKEE's cancer from Fukushima? 1 year ago today, I'll tag the video Rachel and I, and that's data from inside Japan, all over in that area where she was a little girl, at the schools. That's unarguable data. That's what good science does. What I've done, I've never been mystified, I've never been baffled, I've never been stumped, and you all, they're still using it. Not for one day. That's not science, that's hyperbole bullshit. That's counterproductive, that's not a scientist. What a scientist, you hypothesize the knowledge, which I did. Then you do the field work. I did 8 years of incredible field work. Then you defend your work, which I've done. Then the rest, we counter because it's new knowledge. And I want my Nobel Prize. The FU, Plutonium, I'm the guy that says this is a new energy. You are not going to be able to test for it, which now the scientific community all buzz about it, saying that's what it is. Lake Barrett, myself buzzed me. What a piece of shit. I mean, the real scientists that are out there are talking. Kevin Blanch is right. This is a new energy. But where's my Nobel Prize? You know, they get $1 million award. You know, I got a $1.8 million leukemia bill is what I got. I was a millionaire when I got sick. I'm not now. I'm broke. But thank you, everybody who has supported this historic work. It's been important. We don't give up. It's like fighting cancer. Every day, all day. Fight on, young woman. Don't you be folding no paper cranes. Don't you fold no paper cranes. Don't you rip those, fold it up and just pretend. Don't be origami. To confront the disease, to understand how you got the disease, and to fight back on the disease is to survive the disease. Are you part of the cure? Are you part of the disease? You're part of the disease. The nuclear say we're part of the cure. You know, feels like heaven. Stay in tune it. Boycott the 2020 games, and anybody who doesn't is a fool.